This tax advantage plan has been an amazing development because it now allows us to come into a business, and in that razor thin HR budget, we can actually say, hey, you can expand your employee benefits and save money, because it'll actually, after all the fees are paid for, lower the amount that you're paying in taxes, which is it's substantial. So, to give you a real world example, a 50-person employer, I'm based up here in Michigan. First of the year, we had a 50-person manufacturing company that bought the plan, and that company saved over $35,000 a year in taxes after all the fees were paid for, and all their employees could get adjusted twice a month for free, amongst other benefits. So not only did we expand their benefits, and their employees are now partnered with a local clinic, but the owner saved $35,000.
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
What's up, Remarkables? Welcome to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast, Chiropractic's #1 business podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Franson, and I'm here with a special guest, an expert in, let's call it, a newfound tax strategy for business owners. And this is a double whammy for chiropractic business owners. We're going to talk about corporate wellness. We're going to talk about a tax advantage for business owners, including you, as how we can leverage your tax dollars to pay for employees, chiropractic care. I'm super excited to continue a conversation that I've started with my friend, one of our success partners at the Remarkable Practice, Dr. Andrew White from Align Co. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you, buddy.
What is up, Doc? So good to see you.
Hey, I want to get an update because exciting things are happening, right? So there's never been a better time to be a chiropractor. We hear that all the time, right? And there's never been a better time to be a chiropractor who does wellness programs, corporate wellness programs, right? So to get into businesses, hey, you know what? There's never been a greater demand for what it is we do, right? So there's no shortage of sick and suffering people in our communities, and we all want more new patients. We all want to give love and serve at a higher level. And what an awesome way to do that is through corporate wellness programs. But there's very often that threshold you got to cross, right? You got to get up and over. You got to overcome the inertia of, people not wanting to take action with, is there an expense? I didn't get my people behind it, whatever. This is like, there's a cost associated with this, what have you. There's been barriers, right? So yes. You've developed a program or been part of the development of a program that's super exciting. I'm going to allow you to unpack it, but I'm energized by it because, I would love to see all of our doctors, all of our listeners getting out into the community and reaching more people. And through the business, through their workplace, I think is one of the most effective ways to reach people. And it's the most efficient ways to reach people because we know the truth. The people that are not yet in our office are not in our office. So we need to get out into the community and go reach those people. Andrew, why don't you talk us a little bit about just a high level on the program and what are the exciting new tax strategies that we can take advantage of, which not only will make us more attractive to other business owners, but we can actually leverage inside of our own businesses.
Yeah. So the last 5 years, I've been selling corporate wellness contracts to employers. We created some software to help employers see the ROI in bringing in chiropractic as a employee benefit. Every chiropractor I've ever met who's interested in corporate wellness at some point is driven through their town and thought to themselves, like, that business should pay me to adjust their team members because I could help them with productivity and absenteeism and insert talking point, which is all true. But I would say as a profession, we haven't been able to back up those assertions with a lot of evidence. Oftentimes we'll point, sometimes chiros will point to a Blue Cross Blue Shield study that was done years ago in the state of Illinois. Sometimes they would point to general white papers that were decades old. But again, it was a hard thing to assert with actual data and facts before, which is why we created the software to help tell that story better. And then we would sell corporate wellness contracts to employers. We were largely just only ever doing on-site. So we would actually have a chiro going on-site into a business, adjusting the employees right on-site. And we would encourage the office to see it as a marketing opportunity where they could then talk about their clinic, simulate referrals or more services inside of their practice, and then get paid to adjust employees inside the businesses. We're having a lot of success doing that. And then through that process, we were getting often sold by insurance brokers who were using our software to help tell the story to their books of business. And I heard about or witnessed some brokers who were selling some tax advantage wellness plans that were leveraging tax dollars to expand health benefits to employers. They were almost always from the wellness or health component, telemedicine based. And so I saw an opportunity to get Chiropractic involved in one of those plans, and ended up partnering with some brokers for about 18 months to get that plan to become a reality. And that plan launched in the first of this year. So again, we're not the first tax advantage wellness plan in the United States, but we are the first that includes chiropractic care. And what that practically means is that now businesses in the United States and Puerto Rico can actually use tax dollars to pay for this product, which includes 2 adjustments per month at no out-of-pocket cost for the employee. So to your point, oftentimes if a chiropractor who's been interested in corporate wellness got to the table, like they overcame all the hurdles to get to the negotiating table with a small business to try and sell like some sort of direct relationship to the company and get chiropractic for the staff. Budgets in HR are razor thin. There's always a lot of, I joke, HR professionals are often spinning like 10 different plates in the air at one time. So trying to come in and then try and like get any type of budget is difficult. And then on top of that, getting to your point, you brought up also engagement is difficult. So even if you can get the company to pay for it, getting the employees to utilize it so that the ROI you promise is realized is a whole nother operational problem that we had to overcome. And I think a lot of chiropractors underestimate the difficulty of it. And so again, that's what we do. We've really been able to solve those problems, get high engagement and high ROI for our customers. But again, this tax advantage plan has been an amazing development because it now allows us to come into a business, and in that razor thin HR budget, we can actually say, hey, you can expand your employee benefits and save money, because it'll actually, after all the fees are paid for, lower the amount that you're paying in taxes, which is it's substantial. So to give you a real world example, a 50-person employer, I'm based up here in Michigan. The first of the year, we had a 50-person manufacturing company that bought the plan, and that company saved over $35,000 a year in taxes after all the fees were paid for, and all their employees could get adjusted twice a month for free, amongst other benefits. So not only did we expand their benefits, and their employees are now partnered with a local clinic, but the owner saved $35,000. And so that's substantial.
So let me double click on that. Just, this for you is second nature. I'm going to try to unpack some of what you just said there. So you're actually, when you say leveraging tax dollars, you're clawing back some of the employee taxes, right? So, correct. And that's where those monies are coming from. So you're an employer, you have employees, you're paying employment taxes, right? So yes. that money's coming out of that money that you'd be otherwise spending in taxes.
Correct.
And their tax base is going down. Is that correct. Right? So after paying for the services,
yes,
there's an additional. So you're creating the budget by clawing those tax dollars back out, exactly. And then their tax is going down. So they're getting the White Hat Association for bringing in a wellness expert, educating their people, providing chiropractic care and a service with a trusted expert, and that's not costing them more money, and their tax burden is dropping.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what's crazy and how powerful the product is that it's actually, every company has a budget for it because it's coming out of taxes that they're paying on a month-to-month basis, and so it's substantial. And again, it's not replacing a company's existing health benefits. It's not medical insurance. So that's a common question that'll come up from doctors is, do I have to be in network and accept insurance to work with you? No. So my company, Align & Co., we created what we call the AlignWell Certified Chiropractor program. And so it's I'll use the term network because that's probably the most appropriate term for what I'm describing, but I'm not insurance. It's essentially, what I mean by network is that there are certain things we look for an office to work with us. They have to meet certain standards. And so they're pre-vetted, pre-approved, then certified and trained in our processes. And once they're certified, they're a part of our network. And then we sell products to small businesses in their area that they are the network provider. So then we're like, the company pays us, then we pay the chiros to do the services. And then the biggest change in our business in the start of the year was then because of this product, we're also selling what we would call near site contracts. So instead of just having the chiropractor going on site into the business, we actually set up the relationship so that the employees come to your clinic. And then again, there's a certain number of adjustments that are sponsored or paid for through the plan. And then we'll pay you, my company will pay you for those adjustments. Then we would encourage you to treat them like any other new patient and close them for the care they need, not just the free care. So essentially on their care plan,
there's a discount.
There's a discount, right? And so it's lowering how much they're having to pay out of pocket for your care plan, but you're
so
still
your company is going to be participating in your healthcare, and it's going to
Yes.
contribute this much through the program. That's
Exactly.
brilliant, man. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
And you're in integrity. You're aligned with how you would regularly treat any other patient off the street.
Yes.
It's just that they get a bonus check, because they're involved with this program.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. So before you jump, you said something in our last conversation that got me. And it's like, yeah. And by the way, if you're a chiropractic business owner, you're a business owner and you have employees and you can use this in your own business.
Yes.
Can you give us a back on the napkin sketch of that? Like, what does that look like? And is anybody doing this successfully already?
Yeah. So once you join the network, and real quick, I just want to reiterate, it's free. So a common question I get asked is like, well, this sounds amazing. Like, what are you going to charge me thousands of bucks to join? No. Like once you're approved in our network, then again, we're essentially 100% commission-based salespeople. So we make our money when we sell it to businesses, and then we pay you, right? So you're never having to like front some massive cost. As long as you're a good fit, we'll market you. But there are 3 tiers or 3 ways that chiropractors can engage in our program. Tier 1 is if a chiropractor is listening to this and you own your clinic and you have at least 3 full-time employees outside of your spouse and anyone who has over 2% equity in your business, if you're an LLC or S Corp, then you can qualify for this tax advantage plan that we've been talking about. And so what that means is we can run a free quote for your practice, or the brokers I partner with can, and then we can actually pay you to adjust your team members. Because if you recall, the plan pays for 2 adjustments per month for every employee. So you're likely, if you're listening to this, adjusting your staff for free. If you're not, you should be. And as a benefit, so they can get the benefits of chiropractic care. Well, because the plan pays for that, we'll actually contract your office for those adjustments. So not only will you save the tax dollars that we've been talking about because you're a business owner, you'll save $653 per employee per year, but you'll make an additional $720 per employee per year in adjustment revenue. So we'll add $1,373 to your net income every single year for every single full-time staff member you have. So to give you a real world example, in my clinic, we had 10 employees. So I added about $14,000 to my net income just to offer this benefit for something I've been doing for free forever. And again, I'm one of 3 health vendors in the plan. So there's a direct primary care telemedicine vendor and an RX vendor in the plan. So I also expanded my benefits to help retain my staff members, and I'm saving a lot of money. So again, it's incredibly powerful. Yeah.
And every $1,373 helps, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not life-changing money.
I don't know. I think so. I've always been laughing about. I was going to ask you, can I charge get my family? Can I get reimbursed for my family? Because they're all lined up to get adjusted, but it sounds like they're off the docket.
Yeah. To be compliant with the IRS, if you're an S Corp or LLC, again, if your spouse, like you can't participate yourself as an owner, your spouse couldn't, like your kids, if they're still on your taxes, can't.
Yeah.
But again, other full-time staff, you can get the discounts for.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Well, I know Dr. Eric DiMartino, one of our TRP coaches, Dr. Lona Cook is using you guys. So it's exciting to see this kind of traction. It's excellent that you've just created this access and a system like that for them to follow. So, man, I just wanted to bring you on here for an update. That's great stuff, Dr. Andrew, just on behalf of Chiropractic and chiropractors, specifically chiropractic business owners everywhere. Thanks, man. Thanks for the great work you're doing. And we'll have you back in the near future for any updates, because I'm sure this thing is just growing and going.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on. Again, it's I think if you ever, I'll end with I started this company because my mom's an opiate addict from workplace injury. So again, in a lot of ways, I feel like my she had a disc issue. She was referred to an orthopedist who told her the only option was surgery. Post-op, had pain, got put on Oxycontin, and then the rest was history. And the reason I share that story is because her story is sad but not rare. And in a lot of ways, I feel like her addiction and the trauma that I and my siblings dealt with is in some ways a direct consequence of our profession's inability to get out of our own way to serve and reach more people, because my mom had a simple disc issue and she had no idea that chiropractic could be a solution for her.
100%.
And so again, if you're listening to this, I would challenge you, if anything I've said has stirred anything in you, if you're interested in corporate wellness, you have a responsibility. There's a burden to knowledge. There are things that we know in this profession that feel like common sense that can be revelational to those in your community. And you could have done anything. You could be doing anything. You chose, or you were called to be a chiropractor. So you have a responsibility for your community to share that and to serve others, because there are people in your community who are suffering, who could be benefiting from chiropractic today that have no idea that you could change their life. So again, I would encourage you, this is just one tool. I'm not going to replace anyone's marketing, but again, my goal is to help find the best chiropractors and add another arsenal for their marketing so they can serve more people, because the country needs it. There are hundreds of people a day who are dying of opiate overdose from back problems. And that's something that we all know chiropractic is so much more than that, but at bare minimum.
Such a great entry point.
Yeah. So again, I would just encourage you, you're called to do this stuff. You could do anything. You have a responsibility. So we should all think bigger and again, try to figure out ways to lower barriers to get people better care.
Preach. I love it, man. That's fantastic. All right. So how do we learn more? I'll put links down in the show notes for everybody.
Yes.
But just quickly, how do they get in touch? How do they learn more?
Yep. So if you're interested in joining the network, again, it's a pretty simple process. There's a pre-qualification questionnaire. We just make sure you're a good fit for us before we ever get started. But again, to learn more, you can go to AlignWellCertified.com, or you can email us at hello@alignco.life. But again, I'll include that stuff in the show notes. I'll also be speaking at the upcoming TRP conference, which if you are not registered for, you should be.
Look at that.
Thanks, man. Awesome. So I will be there as well. But again, I'll include that stuff in the show notes.
Awesome. All right, guys. All right. What the world needs now is chiropractic. And what chiropractic needs right now is more successful chiropractors.
Amen.
Dr. Andrew White from Align & Co. Thank you for making that easier, man. God bless, bud.
Please stick around for more business insights from this week's bonus interview with our remarkable success partner dedicated to helping you more successfully help more people. Enjoy. All right, CEOs, Dr. Pete here in the studio with Drew Grinnell. Super pumped to have him on board and a part of our remarkable success partners. I just want to tell a quick story before I hand it over to Drew, and we're going to have a great conversation here. Today, it's all going to be about adding value to your customer base, helping more people with more specific conditions, generate more revenue for your business, bigger impact, bigger income. We want to help you help more people. That's why we bring success partners in who align with that. Well, this organization was actually brought to us by one of our very own, Dr. Michael Graybar, giving you a shout out. Dr. Michael Graybar has been one of our remarkable CEOs the last 5 years. We've been working together with him and his team. And Michael introduced us to Cutting Edge Laser Technologies. He said, hey, you guys got to meet with these guys. Dr. Michael has 3 offices in North Carolina, brought Cutting Edge Laser Technologies into his business, and they've seen amazing things happening. He's literally blown away. He'll text me, like, you're not going to believe the kind of results that we're getting with this technology. So excited. He said, you got to have these guys. So we first met in 2024 at an event out in Denver, and then Cutting Edge said, hey, we're coming on board with Remarkable in 2025. So we're excited to have them as part of our success partner expert division, and to have them as a guest here on our podcast to share with us about what they're up to. Like I said, we would not have them with us if it didn't make sense for you. So we bring them in because we're trying to help you help more people be more successful. That's our commitment. So Drew, welcome to the show. Super glad to have you on board. And just as we get started, just maybe tell the audience a little about who you are, maybe a little bit about your company. I think everybody needs to know who you are, and then we're going to talk shop.
Thank you, Dr. Pete. I appreciate it, and we're honored, to be with the team, and excited to be here on this platform with you. So, as you mentioned, my name is Drew Grinnell. I am the Director of Customer Success at Cutting Edge Laser Technologies. Cutting Edge Laser Technologies was founded in 2001. And we have both a medical and veterinarian division. We're focused exclusively on advanced laser technologies. And we have a family of different products, ranging from our most well-known robotic devices to our mobile devices. And we're committed to successful integration of laser technology into practice, whether that's through our customer success team, our marketing team, our support and services, we're there for you. And a little bit about myself, as I mentioned, Director of Customer Success. I've been with the company a little over 2 years now, but my history with MLS Laser runs a lot deeper than just cutting edge. I actually was in a chiropractic practice, and ran a laser center, so a business within a business of a chiropractic practice, for over a decade. So I know a little bit about laser therapy. And again, I'm excited to be chatting with you today.
Well, the great thing about these interviews is, I get to know people while y'all are getting to know him at the same time. So that's awesome. 10 years in the chiro space, you already know our industry. You know who you're speaking to. You're talking to chiropractors. You're talking to people that are in the trenches serving right now. And clearly, this is something you have a passion for. I love your title, customer success. And you said something that really stood out to me, which was the successful integration into these businesses. So I would love to start there because, one of the things that we say regularly on this podcast, Drew, is that, the reason why a business exists is to solve a problem for someone else. And in this scenario, there's really two someone else's, right? There's the patients that we serve in our communities, the opportunity to serve them and reach them. Then there's the other, which is the doctor who's listening right now, and maybe some of the challenges that you're seeing. So coming from over a decade in the chiropractic space yourself, and then now coming on board to work directly with cutting edge laser technologies and working directly with providers and their teams who are trying to serve the communities. Talk to us a little bit about, the specific problems that you guys are solving right now in terms of like patient specific problems, but also how you're helping doctors solve some problems that they have in terms of running their business.
Yeah, I would. We'll start with the patients. I kind of always like to start with the patients. As we know, MLS laser therapy is an alternative, right? It's an alternative. It's a drug-free, non-surgical solution for patients in pain, patients struggling with inflammation and edema. We know that patients are seeking those safe alternatives, to those drug shots and surgeries. So MLS is primed for that with an efficacy of 85-90% of patient improvements. It has a really solid track record with that. When we turn our attention to the doctors and the chiropractors, as we know, it's no secret, right? Declining reimbursements have been a thing for quite a while now. So MLS laser therapy is a self-pay treatment modality. It is a class 4 laser without the risk of thermal damage. So if you know anything about class 4 lasers, most of them, if used incorrectly, can potentially cause some damage and cause some harm. Whereas our unique patented pulse, our MLS pulse, standing for multi-wave lock system, it goes in without that risk of thermal damage. We have synchronized wavelengths, an 808 and a 905. That are locked together, that reciprocally reinforce one another for a homogeneous delivery, driving those improved results. And I would say another solution that we provide is a standout feature of our flagship device. Our M7 device, which is relatively new, has a robotic delivery system. So it's primed to improve outcomes, number one, but then also workflow. So the robotic feature provides a precise delivery of energy going into a specific area. So when we're talking about dosing, if you were to use just a handheld device and you were to scan that back and forth, there's no way of really knowing, no matter how good you are, that you're getting a consistent delivery of that energy. But with a robotic controlled device, you ensure that consistent dosing throughout that treatment area. And the other aspect is the fact that because it is robotic, because it is unattended, you have a staff member that can set that up. And then the patient sits there for 6, 8, 10, 12 minutes, whatever it is. And that staff member can go and they can address another issue at the practice, whether that's collecting payment, answering the phone, maybe setting someone else on a different treatment or a different therapy at the practice. So a funny kind of little thing is it's kind of like you have another employee at the practice that's extremely consistent in its delivery.
Wow, that's, I think all of us are in this world of, AI, right? That's the biggest, thing right now. We're all acutely aware of it, and it's everywhere. Um, you're bringing in another thing with robotics. So it's one thing to have an AI version of yourself or an AI bot that can do a lot of the things, but for you guys, bringing in the robotic component, which we've seen this in the medical world with the robotics in terms of surgeries. I know that's been something that we've seen, but to now bring that type of technology and capabilities into the chiropractic practice, that really speaks to the concept of leverage that we're always talking about, which is, hey, I know a lot of chiropractors that would say, hey, I'm not going to bring this in because I'm already having a hard enough time with my staff and it's just adding another person. So yes, I believe in your service. Yes, that sounds great. We can help more people. We have declining reimbursements. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me. This piece is very intriguing because you're actually talking about not adding more manpower necessarily. I mean, you definitely have to have a person to be able to set someone up, take them off, and there is going to be those transitions that require support. But in terms of not needing that person to be attending for whatever it is, 6, 8, 10, 12 minutes, whatever that frees us up is huge. And then number two thing you said, which was, user error. We actually see that reduced, if not eliminated, because of the consistency that can be executed with this, with the unattended, staff with the robotics. It gives that precise delivery consistently. I think that's speaks to a lot of the concerns a lot of our practitioners have because, of course, a lot of them are control freak perfectionists, Clydesdales, we like to call them. So they just be like, I'll just do it because I could do it better. But it's like, actually, in this scenario, you might not be able to do it better, even yourself. And I think that to me is very attractive because so many of our doctors who we work with, they struggle with letting things go and delegating. Can you talk a little bit about what does it look like to integrate? So I want to move on to the next thing. So let's say you're listening to this, I'm listening on the other side, which I am. What does it look like to integrate this into a practice? Like talk us through that process from like, hey, we don't have any of this technology in our office to, hey, we want to move forward. What does that look like? Like step one, like step two, step three, all the way up to like now it's up and running and we're serving patients. Like give us at a high level, at least, like think about the customer journey from our side as doctors, but then what does that look like for us?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's let me put this right. Okay. So a practice or a provider, reaches out. We have the necessary conversations. They decide, you know what, this is for me, right? I want to get this into my practice. I want to get into my practice ASAP, right? It's a very simple process. We have someone come on site, train the provider and train the entire staff to certify them in advancements of MLS laser therapy training from a clinical application perspective and also from a safety perspective, right? The next aspect is our onboarding journey. So we have a dedicated customer success and marketing team that walks our providers and our new providers through that onboarding journey. So some of the different things that we do is while they're on site, they'll reach out to our customer success team, facilitate an introduction to our customer success team. And then at that point, it's almost as if there's a little bit of a handoff. So then our customer success team will provide them with any sort of templated ads, marketing, any sort of additional clinical application, studies, articles, and things of that nature. We have these different timely, strategic emails that go out to our customers in the beginning steps and in the beginning of the journey, strategically dripped to help them succeed. We call them our customer success ebook series, and it ranges from everything from marketing to business success to clinical application success to allow them to have documented information to help them in any asset possible.
Wow. I mean, I think that, one of the quotes we always say is we live and die in transitions. And what you just said there was there's this kind of like a seamless transition from the onboarding stage where you have the team that comes to them on site and certifies. That's a whole nother thing. I didn't even think about that. You're stimulating me to ask even more questions, but just to think about the thoroughness there, that you have an on-site team that comes, that trains, certifies the team, and then hands them off to your customer success a team who's dedicated to helping you become more successful, and there's a marketing component to that as well. Maybe give us a little insight into that set of services. So I got the ebook series. I see that. Talk about the marketing specific. Are you marketing to my customer base? If I have a list of emails that I have of my previously active and my currently active clients, are you helping me put together marketing to go into my community through digital marketing and maybe other paid traditional advertising like mailers? Like, talk us through, what does that look like?
Yeah, at this stage, our marketing content that we provide our providers is more of a templated ads content for them to be able to use and them to be able to customize for their specific target market or any sort of niche advertising that they're going to want to do. So we have a lot of that information and that content that we have through collaboration with our providers and what they've seen successful and what they work. So currently, we have something called our Cutting Edge Campus, and it is a portal that's on our website. And as a provider, you get a username and a password, and you go in, and there is a plethora of content in there, ranging from digital templates, videos, ready-to-use videos that they can use, any sort of imagery that you'd want to be able to use, webinars, studies, you name it. It's on there. Our customers can utilize any of that information, and they can customize that information again to fit their specific needs.
Yeah, it's huge. I love it. We have something similar in our coaching, which is our academy, and that's such a tremendous resource that doctors who work with us, they can use. Their team can go in there, watch a module or two in preparation for a team training. If they have an issue or questions, hey, go to that module, go to the manual, and let's look at what the modules in the manual say to help us solve our problems. I love that you guys are providing a lot of resource, and it sounds like as doctors are implementing and sharing it back, you're just making that campus more robust. You're just continuing to add more resources to it, so there's just gold on top of gold for your practitioners to be able to have resources to be more successful.
Yeah, we really do. We are very, very into making our customers as successful as possible. That's why we have the different dedicated divisions of our team. We're actually working on something as well, and it's in the beta version. So we have some doctors that are on it currently, but it's a community platform. And the intention here is for our customers to have a private, safe, exclusive space to be able to collaborate with one another, because let's face it, they're bringing in a similar modality, they're in a similar situation, and they'll essentially be able to level up that much faster by learning from people that have gone through it together.
It's awesome. Hey, Drew, I know that you and I are just scratching the surface on our conversation today, and I hope that maybe there's some of our listeners who would like to continue this conversation and maybe learn more about how they can, this might be something they can integrate into their practice this year or in the years ahead, because as you and I both know, just the way that healthcare is going, like you said earlier, people are looking for non-surgical, non-drug, non-injection based solutions for their health challenges, and chiropractors are providers who people trust and who are authorities in natural health and healing. So it's a really great marriage and pairing here. We're seeing that. So can you talk to me and our listeners about how they can learn more, take a next step if they want to know more about you guys? Like I said, you are a success partner with the Remarkable. We trust you guys. You guys are a part of our family, and they can find out more on our TRP website. But what are other steps that somebody could take, would you say?
Yeah, I think a great first step would be, if you want to learn a little bit more, visit our website. Our website is celasers.com. Wealth of information on there. We have something called our Medical Knowledge Center, and it's a robust resource, kind of like a blog, right? But it has all the recent studies, webinars, videos of our providers that are sharing different things that they're doing at their practice, and then all the latest and greatest about MLS laser therapy that's out there. They can also reach out to our team directly via email, and they can call our headquarters as well.
Beautiful. We will add the email and the phone number to the show notes. So if you're listening to this right now, we'll have that included in the notes, so you can connect with cutting edge laser technologies and have that conversation and take the next step. Well, I'm just going to, again, say thank you, Drew, for joining me, for joining our podcast. We're grateful to have you as part of the Remarkable family and as a success partner. And we're looking forward to this great year ahead and helping more doctors help more people. So again, thanks for joining me on today's podcast.
Thank you, doctor. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So that concludes my interview here with Drew from Cutting Edge Laser Technologies. And remember to tune in next week for the next episode of the podcast. Until then, be well and take care, everyone.
Hey Remarkables, Dr. Stephen Franson here. Are you ready to take your practice systems to the next level? Grow your practice, increase your profits. Would you like to have your team immersed in a high energy, inspiring environment where they're trained and skilled up in the complete TRP system? I've got great news. It's that time of year again. It's time for the Remarkable Conversion and Retention Immersion. It only happens one time a year in the US and once in Australia. June 6th and 7th in Orlando, and June 27th and 28th in Sydney, Australia. In this comprehensive training on the complete Remarkable Practice Building System, we cover everything. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, week 1, 2, 3, 4, month 1, 2, 3, 4, year 1, 2, 3, 4, and beyond. Patient conversion and retention. We cover the entire system. What would it feel like to see more of your new patients eagerly starting care and then happily following your recommendations for care? They stay under care because they want chiropractic care. At this powerful and inspiring 2-day event, you and your team will discover exactly what is working today in the conversion process. New patients starting care and staying under care. Building your practice volume and your revenue. Learn the most cutting-edge communications that drive more conversions, unbelievable retention, and incredible referral. This is the best bang for your buck in training all year. Register your team at theremarkablepractice.com or find the link in the show notes below. Join us for a jam-packed 2 full days of intensive training for chiropractic teams that want to grow their practice and increase their profit. June 6th and 7th in Orlando, Florida, and June 27th and 28th in beautiful Sydney, Australia.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Now go and be remarkable.